I've been so much for everyone else, but who I am now, who I am for myself. Welcome back, beautiful soul, to 50 Sacred Pleasure Secrets. I'm your host, Girisha Andrea, and today's solo episode is for every woman who has ever asked herself this quiet and also painful question. I've been everything for everyone, but who I am now, who I am for myself. If you've ever felt that in motherhood, relationship, caregiving, work, friendship, I see you. And I want to share a piece of my own story with you today. And there was a time when, in my life, when I didn't even realize I had lost myself. I was always in service, helping, holding space, working hard, giving endlessly. And I was good at it. And that became my identity. The strong one, the responsible one, the one who makes things happen. But underneath, I was running on empty. And no one could see it, not even me. And until one day, I sat on the edge of the bed after a long day of giving to everyone else, and I asked myself, but what do I really want? Who I am outside of all of this? And I couldn't answer, not immediately. Because I had abandoned myself so slowly, so subtly, and that I didn't even notice I was gone. And I remember this one moment. I was living abroad in one of those beautiful places where people think you are living a dream life, and yet I was waking up every morning with the weight on my shoulder and on my chest. Not from sadness, but from not feeling anything, not a joy, no desire, no connection with my body. And I realized I had built a life that looked full on the outside, but inside I was starving. That moment, this turning point was for me. I stopped pretending, I stopped pushing through, and I made a commitment to myself to come home to myself, to discover myself. And maybe you are in this place right now, and where you've been a mother, a partner, a space holder, an achiever, a worker, a boss, and yet you feel empty, invisible, or unsure who you are without these roles. And please hear me, you are not lost. You are just, hidden underneath years of giving. And now you need to remember that and ask these reflection questions that, when was the last time I did something just for me? Not to achieve, not to serve, but to feel alive. And what parts of myself have I silenced to keep the peace or meet expectations? And who am I when no one is watching or needing or asking anything? The journey back to yourself is not a sprint, it's a soft remembering. It's a listening to your body. It's doing one small thing a day that says, no matter. And for me, that started with placing my hand on my heart and saying, I see you, I love you, I want to know you again. And pleasure, joy, and wholeness returns in the moments when we choose ourselves again. And not in a selfish way, but in a soul-honoring, life-reclaiming way. And I also remember that when I started to asking myself that whether this life is all about what I'm doing, just serving. And my question was always, how can I help you? How can I serve you? What can I help you? And then I was always focused on others and forget about focusing on myself. I completely ignored my needs, my desires. I was just doing, and focusing on outside. And when I started to slow down and coming to stillness and just started to really feel, and at the first time, honestly, I was a little bit painful to look at the mirror, what I've done with myself, how I lost myself. And it was beat by beat, piece by piece, slowly, as I mentioned. And I also that's why it was invisible. That's why I didn't recognize just the moment when I completely lost myself, when I was absolutely abandoned myself. And as I mentioned, piece by piece, beat by beat, day by day, with small actions, with small loving kindness, with small touching, with more looking at myself and seeing myself fully and allowing myself to really see what is behind of the surface, what is behind that I wanted to be a good girl, I wanted to be a good servant, I wanted to be a good in service, in helping. Then I started to give that kindness, that love, that presence to myself as well, not just for others. And what I realized, and especially I come with, and I can see with moms that they wanted to give, and they absolutely lost. And they kind of like, they started to be invisible, and just there was no further resources to give. And they lost their power, they lost their energy, they lost their vitality, and sometimes their health. And they started to learn that even they start to give more to themselves, they can give much more from this sourceful energy and powerhouse what we could create. So my invitation today is just going with these reflection questions, and I'm also sharing under the video, and just finding a few minutes to really listen the answers for these questions. And how can you help yourself? How can you serve yourself as much as others? And just open up for the miracles, open up for that gift what you are carrying. Because most of the time we are just running besides of that talents, that gifts, the skills that our inheritages, and also the poverties what we already created. And we are just thinking, okay, it's done, and go further, go to the next one. What's the next? Just stop for a moment and take a deep breath and put questions to yourself, and allowing the answers to come. And if this episode touched something in you, if you've ever felt like you've disappeared beneath all of these roles you've had to play, please know that you are not alone, and you are not too late. And this podcast is a space where we rewrite the narrative, where our voice, your voice, your story, and your pleasure matter. And thank you for listening. 50 Sacred Pleasures Secrets. And if today's episode moved you, inspired you, and reminded you of your worth, please share it with a woman you love. And if you want to keep walking beside me, subscribe, follow, and leave a review, and share this episode with other women who may need to hear it. And until the next time, reclaim your pleasure, reclaim your truth, reclaim you.